champion!
Hey everyone, going to do a different fun little video today that highlights the weekly brawl we had this week for open beta, and it was the mystery heroes. It was essentially every time you spawn you get a random hero and you cannot change heroes manually. It's automatic and it's completely random every time you die. It made for some really interesting gameplay, and I think it was a perfect fit for this particular time period. It really, if you decided to give it a try, and I encourage everybody that we have a few days left in open beta, go ahead and give it a try, because it was actually very interesting and fun, and it really encourages you to play all the different heroes and maybe positions or spots on certain maps that you weren't used to, or you may be able to find something interesting that you didn't consider before by being forced to play certain heroes in certain situations. Really enjoyed some of the odd meta mechanics that started popping up as I played more and more of these games, and it was funny that, you know, ultimates and lives really became a priority. The fact that your life was a resource, that you couldn't carry your ultimate over from life to life, and so you were kind of forced to try to preserve yourself if you were able to come up with a hero that you liked or was good in a particular situation. You found people really taking cover more often. You found people trying to go back for health packs. There was a lot of self-preservation if you kind of locked into a hero that you really liked. Also ended up finding a lot of snipers. Snipers tend to have a higher kill-death ratio than most other classes because they're able to survive in the background so often, and so you really had Infravision up quite a bit in this gameplay mode, and you had ended up having several snipers that stayed alive the whole game. It was an interesting thing to see. We also had some pretty funny moments where we ended up with 2 Bastions and a Torbjorn on our team, and we were forced to kind of try to make a push with an offensive group of just those very defense-oriented classes. That was pretty hilarious. We had a few situations where people were obviously playing classes that they didn't like, and so they ended up running in and purposely killing themselves to re-roll another class. It was very, very interesting to see the little meta mechanics that people came up with and the little intricacies to each individual hero in situations that you wouldn't normally find them in. It was really, really fun, and I wouldn't want to have it as my main type of play mechanic because although I like the random aspect, I think that there's something to be said for balance in certain maps and areas where your team was definitely not as effective if you rolled a certain set of heroes, especially on attack. But the weekly brawls are really about having a lot of fun in a mode that is slightly different than what you're used to, and I really, really am curious now to see, once I get a bunch of friends together and we start playing custom games, if we can come up with some really, really fun and interesting ways to play the game, because this weekly brawl really opened my eyes to how a slight change in the way the game is played can really have a massive, massive effect on the overall meta mechanics, and the fact that random lives and random classes really put this priority on survival that I didn't expect. I really didn't expect that. So it'll be interesting in the future to see what kind of other weekly brawls we end up. Some of the ones in beta were pretty crazy. I'm not sure if they're going to carry all of those over, and maybe they'll have some new ones that pop up during live. But this was a great one to start out with. I highly encourage everybody to it. If you haven't given it a try yet, just go play a couple games. I ended up playing about 5 to 6 before I went back to the regular standard play mode, but it really, really was a blast. And before open beta is over, I hope everybody gives it a try. I'm going to let the rest of the game play out because some interesting things happened towards the end. Have fun and enjoy the rest of open beta.
60 seconds remaining.
Roadhog time.
Justice reigns from above. Contact.
Let's check in.
30 seconds.
Thanks.
Everyone, stick together. We can do this. Hello. Hi. 你好。
Play of the game.